सहज अमथा रखमा हाफी गई सहज अमथा रखमा हाफी गई सहज अमथा रखमा हाफी गई
Jai Gurudev. I welcome all of you to our Janpriti webinar series. It's truly a great pleasure for me to invite another Mumbaikar, just like myself, Jigar Soni ji, who has made a name around the world, not just for himself, but for the art form that he represents. And literally today, when we think of Garba, he is one of the names synonymous with it. Welcome, Jigar ji. Thank you so much for joining us today. And today we have some of our Janpriti participants with us, some of whom have joined the webinar live, and the others will be watching the recording. And before we begin, Jigarji, if you could, I would like you to share something about yourself and your journey, because you're a very unique persona who has taken Garba into many different formats. Not just something which is of a community art, but also performance art, and you've created a whole pedagogy for it, and you're known worldwide for that energetic yet soulful dancing that you do. So if you could share a little bit of your journey so participants get to know more about you before we move ahead.
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much, Sunil, for having me here. Before I start, I just like to say that whatever I'm talking right now, I'm representing myself and my brother, Surat Soni, who's actually just flying down from Muscat right now after completing a Garba workshop. Otherwise, I would have got him here along with us, who's like a co-founder for me, with me for the Soni School of Garba Dance. So talking about my journey, it has been a very exciting one, actually. I have been a typical Gujarati background who has been dancing Garba. All Gujaratis have been dancing Garba all their lives. But my first proper acquaintance with Garba came when I got an opportunity to perform with Hema ji, that is Hema Malini ji. So when I was in my early college, junior college, I was auditioned. I was called for an audition for her company that is Natya Vihar Kala Kendra, where she does a lot of classical ballets, which are based on mythological stories like Meera, Saraswati, Ramayana, and all. So that was my first entry into dance, professional dance, I would say. And I got an opportunity to perform with her across India. But obviously then I had I was a science student, so I couldn't pursue it too much with her because of my studies and everything. From there on, my next big encounter came with Kumari Indumati Leleji, with whom I got a proper opportunity, me and my brother, to explore the beautiful art form which India has, the various folk dances of India. 1996, I got an opportunity with her, under her guidance, to represent Mumbai University at the National Youth Festival, where universities across the country obviously were present. And 96, we managed to win the gold medal at the national level for folk dancing by the government of India. So that, I would say, actually made that big change in my life, I would say, because that is when I actually got to understand what folk dances are and how beautiful these dance forms are. And Garba, as we were exposed to, as being Gujaratis, we've always been exposed to Garba. But then when I went to play Navratri, I understood that are we doing actual Garba or not? Because the dance form is so beautiful. There is so much of authenticity in it. I always believe that when you get something for free, people start taking it for granted. And that is what me and my brother thought, that maybe Garba was coming free to everybody. Because I don't know if you remember when I was called to speak at the World Dance Congress at UNESCO, I proved it by numbers that Garba is the most performed dance in the world. And when that most performed dance in the world comes from India, I would not say Gujarat, I always say it's an Indian dance which is from Gujarat, then it is becoming everyone's responsibility to ensure to give the due credit to the dance form, which I thought we were not giving. So rather than cribbing and complaining, we thought that, okay, me and my brother, we thought, okay, we believe in that Gandhiji's quote, be the change what you want to see. And we started doing our bit. We started our dance school in 1998. So we completed 24 years now, with the objective of ensuring that how can we preserve our beautiful art form in the pure way. Because like you are from that Kathak stream, and I'm sure how a strong believer you are in ensuring that Kathak survives, how Bharatanatyam survives. We do not want, in that current scenario of Bollywood and everything happening, we respect everything. We respect Bollywood. We respect all the Western dance forms. But we do not want our original dance form to be getting lost so that 10, 20 years down the line, there is no existence remaining. So I think it is everyone's responsibility. I think you are taking your responsibility of the Kathak dance form. I think me and my brother, we are taking the responsibility of folk dances, and to be very specific of Garba, because we have an exposure of all the folk dances. But I think Garba is something which we have tried to be the flag bearers in a particular way to ensure that traditional Garba survives. And I think from there on, I think God has been kind. We have held on to our principles. We started from teaching in a building in Kandivali, and now we can say that we are in, as I talk to you right now, we are in 9 countries and 30 cities worldwide now. And by the end of November, we'll be in 11 countries and 36 cities worldwide, because I'm now flying to UK, Spain, and Italy to take workshops over there. So it's been an exciting journey. These journeys are not very easy, because I believe that we are swimming against the tide. But I think you need to have a very strong determination, which I think with the support of the family and guidance from our gurus, I think we have managed to sail through till now, and we are very determined to take it forward also, Sunil.
Thank you so much, Jigarji. That was such a wonderful description that you gave of be the change you want to be. So taking that forward, I know you are invited as a jury member to judge a number of different competitions, and you are here even in Jankriti as a jury member. So what is it that you want to see from participants, especially when a group comes to perform? What do you look for to begin with in that particular group?
So I always believe that as the name suggests, that it's a group dance. So I am definitely not looking at individuals, that's for sure. Because for me, if in a dance form, if I can make out that, okay, these 3 people are doing good or very good, that means they are not a part of the group for me, basically. Because for me, when I see a performance, they have to perform as a group. They have to all come at an energy level where everyone is at the same level. That is when a group is happening. Primarily, obviously, I will not get into too much on the technical side, because I'm sure their team will be taking care how the authenticity of the folk dance which they are representing, that is taken care of. But I'm talking from the performance perspective. Number one, I always tell people that please enjoy what you're doing, because that will show in your dance form. That I'm sure, because I think this point of mind might not be very applicable in this organization where I'm talking, because I think what I spoke to Sunil yesterday also, I think you guys are doing a very fantastic job of developing a beautiful culture. Because where there is a nice cultural base, people will automatically be with the right mindset. And when you have the right mindset, you are approaching things in a very beautiful way. And when you're approaching things in a beautiful way, it will reflect in anything and everything you do. And when I say anything and everything, obviously the competition which we are talking about, because you are getting a chance to represent your group or your community at a very beautiful level, at a very beautiful platform, which you guys have managed to develop, a tie-up which you have had with the Ministry of India itself. So people, first of all, should be proud of that fact that they are participating in a very beautiful platform where people have taken effort. So once all these thoughts are there, there is automatically an amount of sincerity and honesty which will come in your dancing. Because it should not be performed that, okay, I'm performing somewhere. First of all, you need to be owning that thing. That yes, I have been given a platform to perform at a beautiful stage, which I need to be ensuring that I take it with super pride. And obviously that pride has to be, there is a thin line between confidence, overconfidence, and pride and arrogance. So that I'm sure their gurus will be taking care of that. But coming back to the things, what I will be looking at is that how you are performing as a group. How are the coordinations happening? How is the synchronization happening? Because I am a big fan of coordination, synchronization, formations as a group, not of individual. Again, if I am, when I'm seeing a performance, if I'm forced to, so I land up seeing 2 or 3 individuals performing, that means the group is not performing good for me. Because my attention has been dragged by those 2-3 people only. Because sometimes what happens, I'm sure you will agree that there are some excellent dancers and there are some average dancers in the group. But when you're performing, you have to ensure that the average come up and the excellent maybe somehow manage and they all perform as a group. Basically, these are the things which I will definitely be focusing on.
Thank you so much, Jigarji. Some questions are coming in and some had even come in before your session.
Right.
I'll just go question-wise, and you can also send some more questions, the participants who are here today. One question that comes in actually ties in with your own journey also. It came in before the session on looking at the vigor as well as rigor of Garba. That sometimes dancers put in a lot of energy, they're very vigorous, but they are not sticking to the authenticity in terms of the originality. And especially when we talk about Bollywood, the influence of popular songs is quite a bit, not just on folk culture, but also on classical culture today. So how do you suggest young groups, to maintain both these aspects, the vigor as well as the rigor when they go ahead?
See, I'll tell you, maybe I don't know. I have an example right now here. I don't know how. See, what happens is nowadays people are just getting into the number game. Number game, I'm trying to relate it with Garba, that people are trying to spread the word that, okay, you do Garba, because my dance teacher had told me that the 3 beautiful aspects of Garba are the circles, what you take, the bends, what you do, the baithaks, what you do. Now, there are certain people, if taken in the wrong way, they will get into the quantity, not the quality. They will say, okay, I'm taking 16 circles. For me, 16 circles don't matter. Till the time you're not doing it with the right quality. For me, sometimes a single circle taken with a beautiful grace is more mattering to me rather than those 16 circles taken without grace or without that soul in it. So what I would suggest always people is that please focus on quality and not on quantity. Because with God's grace, I have been exposed globally to judge various competitions across the globe. And I have always been a big fan of quality rather than quantity. Nowadays, because of Bollywood, everyone is getting into that wrong game of showing off more. They forget that there are very simple steps which can be done in a beautiful, graceful way. And that will definitely attract the right audience. So what I very strongly suggest to my students is that please do not get carried away by compliments from the wrong people. It is very, very important for you to know that who is complimenting you. Because I'm not again trying to demean anyone. because I am in a dance form where right now on a Navratri day when I go, I'll be at a platform where there'll be 10,000 people. I will be getting at least 300 people who will be coming and telling me, oh, Jagar, you dance beautiful, you dance beautiful. But when you ask me right now, I know those 10, 20 compliments which I've got over the last 25 years, which matter to me. I'm not saying it in a bad way that the other compliments don't matter to me. They are talking out of just emotion. But those 10, 20 compliments which I've got specifically, they have an in-depth knowledge about dancing. They know too much on detailing. They have commented on me with a lot of depth in their mind, with a lot of depth of knowledge. So for me, those 20 compliments when they come to me, because if my dance teacher would tell me just a nod also, that would be like heaven for me. So I would always tell people that do not get carried away. Yes, it's always beautiful to get compliments, but do not get carried away with the wrong set of compliments, because that what happens is if you do not have a level head, you might just get led into a very wrong direction post that. And then the more you get deviated from your direction, it is very difficult to again come back to what your destiny is supposed to be. So that is why I think I this year, maybe I must have taught at least around 1,500 people in Bombay. I have a 600 people workshop lined up in UK right now. One thing which I always say, that dance for your heart, not for your mind. You should be happy at the end of the day. Whether quantity does not matter, quality definitely matters. So I think these are the things which people should definitely focus on whenever they're performing.
Thank you so much. Another question that has come in is in terms of rehearsal. Your group is very popular and very well known for both all of these aspects of synchronicity and vigor as well as rigor. So how much do you make them rehearse? How much should we be rehearsing? That's a question that's coming in.
I have always been a big fan of, again, what I just said. I will not say that we rehearsed for 2 months, but I would say that I always talk in hours. Okay, because just I'll give you a simple example that a lot of people, when I do my classes, a lot of people ask me that how many sessions, the session will go on for how many months. So I say it is ultimately 8 hours. Okay, so they're like, oh, it's only 8 hours. So they get shocked. But if I say it in a different way, that it's for 2 months, once in a week, 1 hour. So they think, oh, it's for 2 months. But ultimately, when you do a session for 2 months, once in a week, 1 hour, you're again doing 8 hours only. Correct? So again, I always believe that those 8 hours, if I can make you do it in 2 days, 4 hours each, if you have the right stamina and all, I've done that 2 months job in 2 days. So I have trained my team in such a way that their efficiency is the best. That when I say rehearsals from 7 to 10 in the evening, that means at 7 o'clock, the rehearsal starts, and that 3 hours gives me maximum productivity. It's not what you're doing for the 3 hours. Again, I have always been a big fan of that. I don't want my team to be slogging like donkeys. I'm sorry to use the word. I don't want to be slogging like them. I want them to be enjoying. I want them to be doing quality rehearsals, which make them better. If you're doing a rehearsal, there is someone observing you. You find out the pluses and minuses. The next time when you do, you need not go on stage and do it. First, correct it in your thoughts. First, correct it on paper. Because you finally humans, you have an energy level. If every correction you go it on the floor and do it, it might not be very realistic from your body perspective. But if you sort out things on paper first, or maybe you sort out things by just sitting and going through it first, then it is likely those 2-3 points will be ironed out even before you go on stage. In that ways, you might be better in stamina before you go for the next rehearsal. So I always believe that plan your things well on paper first. Before I even start my rehearsals, I have everything sorted out on paper first, even before I have my first rehearsals going. So I have my couple of core members with me, with whom me or Suraj will be sitting, and we will chalk out everything on paper first. So that when we go, that 2 hours might give me a super beautiful productivity. So that is, it's all about do your homework very well and then go onto the floor.
Thank you, Jigarji. That was a very beautiful way to describe it, that we have to do our homework. And I'm sure all of you have learned from that when you are preparing with your group, how you can take these points, actually sit, think, talk together, and then rehearse a lot more. The next question that many people have is in regards to costume. The authenticity of costume and maintaining it. Many a times, suggestive costumes are also used. So, what do you recommend to dancers in case their costumes are not available, the authentic costumes, which sometimes for a huge group may not be possible to get so easily, especially for some of the other dance forms that they do? How do you suggest that they bring out that suggestivity through the costume to maintain that flavor?
I just have a different thought to it. See, what happens is whenever we are doing folk dances, we are like connected to the roots. And when we go to our roots, it is super simple there. Okay, the more you go higher, the simplicity is vanishing. So I am definitely of the belief when you go down, it is very simple, it is very basic. So definitely, I ideally would want to believe that it is not very difficult to get the simple costume, because any folk dance you see, they do not have gaudy costumes. They are very simple, whether it is Koli or Garba. They were, nowadays people have just glamorized it and maybe making all the fancy costume, but I am not a big fan of that. I just wear basic colors and basic falls and ribbons. I don't have all those 500 things. We call it the hanger. My costumes are not a hanger. I'm not a hanger where everything is just hanging on me. The biggest principle which I want people to follow is that your costume should be such which enhances your dance. Because a lot of times, in certain folk dances, yes, but more importantly, I'm talking from the Garba perspective, because I see thousands of people every year where they are like, if I see a particular dancer in their normal rehearsals, when he's performing on a Navratri day, I see him dancing 20% below his caliber. Why? Because he has worn the wrong costumes. Because the costume is so heavy, it is not helping him give his best. So number one, I'm a big fan of costumes which enhances your dance, not pulls you down. That is point number one. Point number two is, which my dance teacher taught me, Kumari Indumati Leliji, I've learned from her. Obviously, she never should make us sit and tell all these points, but we have observed just being with her, because I have never taken a single official lesson from her. But we were really fortunate, me and Surat, that we got a chance to spend like 12, 15 years just standing next to her and observing her. That is what my learnings are. So I'll just give you a simple example of a Koli dance. In a Koli dance, she used to ensure that when the girls are coming on stage, their Nawari sari is pinned up in such a beautiful way. If they are wearing a Vani or a Gajra in the head, it is pinned up in such a beautiful way. Their hair is so neatly done. If they are wearing those multiple, like how the Kolis wear maybe when they're performing, the Mangal Sutras or a necklace or a earring, everything is pinned in such a way that despite doing a 10-minute performance, not a single thing moves here or there. Because what happens is, if you are not very tidy in wearing your costumes while performing, because majority of our folk dances are very rigorous. Majority of our folk dances, like when it comes to classical dancing, there is a lot of more delicacy. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. In folk dances, there is a lot of rigorous, energetic moves more. In that, if you have not worn your costumes in the best way, because I am used to doing all the performances for like 8, 9 minutes. And in that, I have seen people at times that in the first or maybe on the first or the second minute itself, some ornament of the costume is not in an ideal position. And then your whole concentration is there, where your concentration should have been in the dance. So again, how do you wear your costumes? How prepared are you with the right pin-ups and the right tying of knots and everything? That definitely is a different subject altogether, which people should definitely be focusing, because if not taken care, you will hamper those 15 days or 1 month or 2 months of practice, because finally you go up on stage because you must have not done your practice with the costume for 2 months. I would say do that properly maybe a day before, so that you have an idea of the pros and cons.
Jigarji, when I know you've created a number of wonderful videos, especially in for Garba with Falguni ji, you had one which came out and a new one that's coming out. When it comes to the video format, in which Jhankriti is also video format, are there certain colors that you recommend or certain no's that should not be done on video in terms of group presentation?
See, this is a very wider question actually, Sunil, because it's a very subjective question, I will say. Like the first video which we made, we were the producers of that. So when you say why I'm using the term producer, because everything is what I decide. Okay. We had a very different theme. We took a little liberty because I'll tell you, I'm right now talking about Garba. When we talk about Garba, there are these predominantly vibrant colors which are used. Maybe red, yellow, green are the colors which are generally very favorably used in the Chanya Cholis. What we did as a conscious decision, one thing is a complete no-no is that Garba is performed for Mataji or Ma Durga, where black color is a definitely no-no. So what we ensure that whatever, yes, we land up taking creative liberties, but there are certain things which cannot be a part of that liberty. So black color is a definitely no-no for that particular folk dance which I'm talking. The liberty which we took in that was that my director, obviously we were the choreographers, but we had a video director also. The director was on the vision that, okay, we want to use light pastel colors. So what we had done that all the girls were in pink pastel Chanya Cholis. Me and my Surat were in that, what do you call it? The pista color, the light green color, again, very pastel. The whole set which we had decided, that was again that light peach color, so again pastel. So everything, we had a theme in mind. That, okay, everything will be light pastel colors. And trust me, the maximum compliments which I've got for the song is for the costumes. We did not compromise on the designing of the costume. We had the proper Kedias, we had the proper Chanya Cholis. We took a liberty in the color only, keeping in mind the whole theme, the background and everything. So again, what I would say, like now the next video which we are releasing with Falguni ji again, this will be on the 14th of September. Again, what we ensured was, again, certain colors, more than the colors, we focused again on the designing part, that what I told you previously, that it has to be helping you dance better. So obviously there were these certain neatness which are kept in mind that, okay, what is Falguni wearing? If Falguni ji is in the center, then if Jigar and Surat are, because there are three of us featuring in the song. One is Falguni ji, and the other is me and my brother, and then obviously, we call it the SSGD folk stars. So they'll be performing that. So we had certain colors in mind, keeping the set also, because previously it was an indoor set. This time it was an outdoor set shot in the night. So obviously colors and all have to be kept in mind, because sometimes if you go to a place and the background wall is of a particular color and you are wearing the same color, then you might just, this is where your homework comes into action. So there are all these things where you have to slightly do your homework. And I would say these are all basically common sense. Again, obviously, what I told you that, okay, in a Garba thing, I will definitely not wear a black color. When you're doing a Koli dance, there are these certain colors which they generally wear, the green color, Nawaris, and also everything has certain rules. I would say more importantly, you should definitely know what are the no's, because you're playing with culture here. There you don't want to goof up anywhere. So more than what you can do, you should be definitely knowing what you shouldn't be doing. So at least, because you don't want to hurt anyone's sentiments, because this is a very sensitive issue and India is like super diversified for us to take any chances in this.
Well, so well put, Jigarji. Thank you for that wonderful advice. That first we should learn what should not be done, so that we know what freedom we have within the framework.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely.
And the last question that we are having is that in regards to maintaining stamina, is there anything with respect to diet that you suggest to your students or you follow with respect to diet, or also in between performances, is there something that you say, like, you know, when you have to dance for a long period of time, let's say you have a 3-4 hour rehearsal, or like on Garba nights when people dance all night. So is food or diet a part of maintaining that energy and stamina?
See, a very, very important point is all these things cannot happen overnight, which we all need to believe that I cannot eat good today and tomorrow I will be healthy. It is a journey and it is a lifelong journey. the advice which I give to my students is that please take care of your body, not because you are a dancer, but because you have to live. If your body is good, it will help you in all the aspects of life. Having said that, when I talk about diets, I think I'll tell you about my thing. My dad was very particular about my thing. So when I was just about in secondary school, he ensured that I joined karate classes. So I did martial arts for almost 7 years. So that 7 years made my body super flexible. Okay. And it got my legs and stomach and everything very strong. And flexibility wise, it was very good. Along with my karate, he ensured that I had a very good diet. So I am a big home food guy. That doesn't mean I don't eat pastas and burgers. Yes, I do eat once in a while. But primarily, maybe 5 days in a week, I eat khichdi and I eat like 4 or 5 spoons of ghee every night. Okay. That helps in my lubrication of knees because right now, as I talk to you, I'm 47 years old. But I'm without arrogance and with a lot of confidence and a lot of humbleness, I'm saying that I am very happy to compete with an 18-year-old guy to do Baithaks with me. Why I'm able to do that is maybe because what I have been eating from the last 30 years. I cannot do that today. It is the habit which my father has put onto me since a long time, maybe since I was a teen. Because I started my dance career very late. The first show which I did was with Hemaji, that was my first professional show, was at the age of 17. The first competition I ever participated was at the age of 21. So that's how my dance career started pretty late. But I think I always had good eating habits. Bananas, when you're rehearsing and all. Nowadays, the young culture is that I see a lot of, fortunately, it's not there with my students, but I see a lot of others that during Navratri, they drink all these energy drinks, which are not very good. It might be damaging your kidney. It's very obvious. You Google it, you know that, okay, you drink a particular energy drink regularly, it damages the... So you should be aware of certain things. And we have beautiful fruits, have some dry fruits, have bananas during your rehearsals and all, and a regular healthy eating pattern throughout. You cannot say that now I'm performing tomorrow, so today I will eat healthy. That is definitely not making sense. It is a lifestyle which you have to follow, and that will definitely help you over the years.
Thank you so much, Jigarji. So right from what we eat, what we wear, what to think, how to rehearse, and what is a vision, you have covered so much for us in this short duration of 30 minutes with these succinct and yet powerful answers. Thank you so much. If there are any closing words from you, and we'll conclude the webinar.
No, I'll just from the coming back to Jankriti, I think what I told you yesterday, I would like to tell you that this is a beautiful platform, beautiful initiative. And I like this thought of yours that there is an interaction between the participants before the program because they actually are mentally prepared. Because I have always been a big fan of knowing what I'm doing. So now they know where they are getting into. They know the platform. They know what the mindset of the jury is. Okay. And all these things are definitely there. To the participants, mainly, I would say that definitely ensure that how you are enjoying in this journey, in this process, whatever this process is, where you're rehearsing, where you're being creative, where you're learning, everything is a learning. Everything is a learning which will help you somewhere or the other. Keep enjoying is your primary thing. Have the best time. Winning a prize is definitely one of the formalities of this format. So yes, someone will win, someone will lose. But one thing is for sure that which is in your hand that everyone can enjoy. Everyone can have a beautiful time. You definitely enjoy that. The organization is have a particular format. They will take care of their thing. But enjoyment, definitely you can take care of it, which you should definitely do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jigarji. Jai Gurudev. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. And we wish you the best for your journey in Jankriti 2022.
Definitely. 14th September, just a parting shot. My song is releasing with Falguni ji. Definitely check it out. I'll put it on my page also, my Jigar Soni's and Sony School of Garba Dance Instagram page. It's a beautiful song, again on folk dancing. So let's see. But done in a slightly music.
We are all excited to see it. And we'll share it with all the participants too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.